You're watching your wife being led away by the most powerful man on earth. You can't move. You can't speak. Around you, 50 senators sit frozen, wine trembling in their cups. Some pray she'll return. You pray she won't say anything that gets you both killed. 20 minutes stretch into 20 years. When he finally brings her back, he doesn't just return her. He sits down, pours himself wine, and in front of everyone you know, he describes, in cold, clinical detail, exactly what just happened in that room. Your colleagues stare at their plates. Your wife stares at nothing. And you have to smile. You have to nod. You have to thank him. Because the alternative is watching your children die. This wasn't madness. This was a machine, engineered with surgical precision to destroy the human soul. And the man who built it learned everything from watching his entire family murdered by the previous emperor. His name was Caligula. What he did to Rome is so systematically evil that 2,000 years later, we're still trying to understand how one human could architect this level of psychological warfare. If you believe the darkest records of history must be remembered, like and subscribe. Your support unearths more stories from the shadows. Now, stay with me, because what you're about to hear gets worse. And the most terrifying part isn't what he did, it's that the system outlived him. Before I reveal the 5 acts of Caligula's terror machine, you need to understand, he wasn't born evil, he was manufactured. And the process began when he was 7 years old. Picture this, year 19 AD. A little boy in a miniature legionnaire uniform, tiny armor, red boots, runs through a Roman military camp. Battle-hardened soldiers laugh, hoist him up, toss him like a mascot. They call him Caligula, Little Boots. He's the son of Germanicus, Rome's greatest general since Caesar. The legions worship his father. They adore this child. They believe he brings victory. Caligula grows up thinking he's invincible, loved, protected by the mightiest army on earth. He has no idea what's coming. 1 year later, his father dies. Official story, sudden illness. Whispered truth, poison, ordered by someone close to Emperor Tiberius. Caligula is 8 when the machine starts devouring his family. His mother, dragged from their home, accused of treason. His oldest brother, arrested, starved until he tried to eat mattress stuffing. His second brother, exiled, tortured until he smashed his own head against stone walls. One by one, they vanish. By age 19, Caligula is the last survivor of his bloodline. Then comes the summons. Tiberius wants to see him. Capri, a paradise island turned fortress of depravity. Far from Rome, far from witnesses. Ancient historians, Suetonius, Tacitus, writing within living memory, describe Capri as a house of horrors. Into this nightmare walks teenage Caligula. He knows Tiberius murdered his family. Everyone knows. But one wrong look, one flash of grief, and he's dead. So he doesn't just survive, he excels. Suetonius writes, "There never was a better servant or a worse master." Caligula buries everything human inside him. He watches, he studies, he becomes exactly what Tiberius wants: obedient, entertaining, harmless. For 6 years, he plays the role perfectly. Then, in 37 AD, Tiberius dies. Some say natural causes, others say Caligula smothered him with a pillow. Either way, the 19-year-old hostage is now Emperor of Rome. The city celebrates. They think they're getting Germanicus' son. They have no idea they've crowned a man who spent 6 years learning how to break human beings from Rome's greatest monster. For 7 months, everything seems perfect. Then he falls ill, and the person who wakes up is not the same person who went to sleep. What happened in those fevered days? We'll never know. But when Caligula recovered, something inside him had shattered, and Rome was about to learn what he'd been hiding. What I'm about to describe isn't random violence. It's not the acts of a madman. Caligula built a system. 5 distinct acts of psychological warfare, each designed to destroy a different part of the human spirit. And the truly terrifying part? How methodical it was. Let me show you the blueprint. Act 1. The Sister Goddess. Caligula had 3 sisters, but Drusilla was different. Ancient sources whisper of a relationship that crossed every line, even for Rome. Whether incest was real or propaganda, everyone believed it. And Caligula didn't deny the rumors, he fed them. Then Drusilla died. What happened next reveals the core of his system, taking personal pain and forcing an entire empire to feel it. He doesn't just mourn, he weaponizes grief. The Senate declares Drusilla a goddess, officially. Temples are built. Romans are required to worship her. Then he declares national mourning. And here's where it becomes monstrous. It is now a capital crime to laugh. It is now a capital crime to bathe. It is now a capital crime to eat dinner with your family. Read that again. For weeks, maybe months, if your child tells a joke at breakfast, do you laugh? Do you punish them for being human? Every moment of joy becomes a potential death sentence. He's making Rome feel his pain, whether they want to or not. He's learning he can legislate emotion, criminalize happiness, make his inner world everyone's reality. And once he controls how people feel, he starts experimenting with what else he can take. Act 2. The Imperial Brothel. This is so disturbing, historians still debate if it happened. But ancient sources agree on the details. Caligula builds a brothel inside the imperial palace, not for himself, for profit. Staffed not by prostitutes, but by the sons and daughters of Rome's noble families. Heralds announce prices in the streets. Married women, unmarried women, special rates for virgins from senatorial families. And here's the cruel genius. He keeps ledgers, names, dates, transactions. The bureaucratic accounting of human degradation. If you're a Roman nobleman, your identity is your lineage. Your name means centuries of honor. Now your daughter's name is in a ledger, advertised like livestock, and you can do nothing. He's not just taking bodies, he's taking the one thing Roman elites valued more than life: their reputation, their legacy, their name. Act 3. The Banquet of Predation. You're at an imperial banquet. Your wife beside you. 50 senators around you. Wine tastes like fear. Caligula stands. Silence falls. He walks between tables, inspecting women like livestock. Stops at your table, checks her teeth, her hair, her body. Doesn't ask permission, doesn't acknowledge you. Takes her hand, leads her away. You sit. The man next to you stares into his cup. No one speaks. 20 minutes, 30. Conversation is brittle. A joke dies in the air. He brings her back. She won't look at you. Then he sits down too. And in front of everyone, your friends, rivals, colleagues, he describes what happened. Graphic, clinical, rated. Compares her to other senators' wives. Makes jokes. And you have to laugh. You have to nod. You have to pretend this is normal. He's not just violating your wife. He's destroying you, your authority, your dignity, your manhood, in front of everyone who matters. And tomorrow, you have to come back. Smile at these same people. Pretend it never happened. He's making everyone complicit, witness to everyone else's degradation. Act 4. The Grieving Father. Caligula executes people, not for crimes, just because he's bored. And he develops a protocol. If he kills your son, you must watch, up close. Suetonius records one incident. A father watches his son die. That same night, he's invited to dinner with Caligula. The body is still warm. Caligula watches the father, studies his face, checks for tears, any sign of pain. Because if he shows any emotion, Caligula knows there's still something human left to destroy. The father eats food he can't taste, makes conversation he can't hear, while his son's body cools in an alley, and the man who ordered it watches him like an experiment. He's turning love into a weapon. The more you care, the more vulnerable you are. Act 5. The wrong man. Caligula's fatal mistake. He aimed his casual cruelty at a soldier. Cassius Chaerea, senior Praetorian Guard officer, elite, lethal, stands inches from Caligula daily, armed. Chaerea had a high-pitched voice. Caligula found it hilarious. Every day, new jokes. When Chaerea asked for the daily password, Caligula gave him Venus, Priapus, feminine, sexual, in front of all guards, week after week. For Caligula, it was throwaway humor. For Chaerea, every joke was poison. Senators could be humiliated, they wanted to live. But a soldier, a man trained for violence, standing next to the emperor with a sword? Caligula forgot. Never corner something that can kill you. January 24th, 41 AD. Caligula attends theater, leaves through a narrow underground corridor, dim, claustrophobic. Chaerea steps forward, asks for the password. Caligula sneers one final mockery. Chaerea screams, "Take this!" drives his sword under Caligula's ribs. Caligula stumbles. No escape. 30 stab wounds. 4 years of rage released in 60 seconds. But it doesn't end. They find his wife, Caesonia, stab her to death. Then the nursery. His daughter, Julia Drusilla, 2 years old. Swing her head first into a marble wall. No heir, no vengeance. For a moment, Rome dreams of republic. The Senate debates freedom. Then the Praetorian Guard finds Claudius, Caligula's uncle, hiding behind a curtain. They proclaim him emperor. The system survives. Caligula ruled 3 years, 9 months, 8 days. A blip in Roman history. Yet 2,000 years later, we're still talking about him. Why? Because he proved the entire machinery of a state can become a weapon of personal psychological warfare. Ledgers in the brothel, bureaucracy. Forced mourning, law enforcement. Banquets of violation, imperial hospitality. Every atrocity was legal because he was the law. When he died, the machine didn't stop. It found a new operator, Nero, Domitian, Commodus, Elagabalus. The blueprint remained. Suetonius, the best of servants, the worst of masters. He learned tyranny by pretending to be the perfect subject, studied under Tiberius, mastered every tool, then perfected it. After Claudius, Caligula's records were burned. What survived is just fragments. Imagine what was so disturbing. Even in an empire of crucifixions and lions, they decided it had to be erased. The machine is still out there, waiting for the next operator, which leaves us with one final question. Who's wearing the mask today? Comment 1 if you made it to the end. Like, subscribe. The truth is darker than the empire.